I like to be validated for music, that I want the traditional songwriters and all to look at it and say, this is a good song or not. But on the other hand, I feel like I can do anything I want. Why subject myself to an industry that is so hard to break into? I'm not going to be able to compete with what's out there by professionals that are already making music, already writing songs. They can pitch. They know the network. I have no idea even where to find people to pitch to. So, but with this tool, I can do what I want. I can publish it on YouTube and make the song as good as I want. I can make movies if I wanted.
Hey, it's me, Matt, again with another fantastic interview coming up. I'm really excited to meet Meg. Different, like everybody brings something different to the table. Meg does some social media stuff, has had a different life leading up to AI music. Really interested in her take. I won't give anything away. I've read some of the stuff she wants to talk about, but this is Meg Summers. Meg, welcome to AI DIY, the music guy in the podcast. I can't wait to hear how this goes.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah,
And
excellent. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what got you into AI music? Where, like, it's even interesting that you've moved. You're not in the place where you started and you now moved to where I left, basically within about 20, 30 minutes.
yes, so I moved countries in my life. I've lived in, I grew up in Singapore, and then I moved to the UK. I got my education there, and then I got married, and then I stayed on, had kids. And then life brought us into the US, and they brought us back here twice. So the first time we came here, we had a good time and had to go back. And we missed it so much that we came back here with a second time, and now we're staying. And during this time, the kids have left home. And so I'm a grandparent now. Got my third grandchild just recently.
Third.
Yeah, third, just last 2 weeks ago. So I'm still thinking about it. So life is very different. So I have done a lot of things in the past with technology. I'm an engineer by trade, but became a programmer for many years, and then I became an educational technology specialist, and then it was just one thing after the next, and life brought me into music because I have no music background, and I just wanted to make some music for the educational resources that I was making. I thought it'd be nice to make my own personal music to put into videos to teach kids chemistry. I was illustrating chemistry concepts. And then I found Suno, and suddenly all this AI world just opened up to me, and I just have no more control because I just love making music. And
Yeah.
coming from no music background to suddenly I'm now making music every day. I have to play with that tool. So
I
that's it.
love that. I love that for a lot of different reasons. Like one thing you mentioned, like it sort of came to you because you wanted to make your own music for projects that you were doing. And a lot of people, some people have sort of come across the same way. Like there's so many ways that people basically try to leverage this new technology. Some of them trying to be the next Elton John, but some of them, find ways to sell single songs into like training into the classrooms and things like that. So you mentioned you have no musical background. So what was your thought, I guess, like you said, I want to make music. What was your original thought? Because obviously it sounded like you discovered AI music after you had an original plan.
Yes. So what happens is that I've always wanted my kids to do music. That's come from something that I always loved music as a kid, and watching my friend going to music lessons and they can play the piano and I couldn't. I watched with jealousy, obviously.
Mm.
So when I had the children, and I thought they should learn to play musical instrument, and my husband's also a musician. So we had that path set for them. So over the years, I make sure they practice their music. I make sure they go to classes, make sure that they do all the things that the teacher gave them. And so they all decided to go to Nashville to do music, and they went
Mm.
to Nashville Music College, and then they all came out as accountants and
Yeah.
marketing. So obviously they had a great time there. They even if I may say this, my son even had a chance to see Taylor Swift in person, in
Mm.
in places like that. So it was very impressive. The people that they met in Nashville, they always uh, charged me up, thinking, "Oh, they're going to do music," but then they
Yeah.
all dropped music in the end because it's a very competitive field. But for
Yeah.
me personally, I have always been the one to encourage them, and I was very happy whenever they play their music instrument and improve. So then when I found this Suno instrument, I thought, oh wow, I can make music too. I don't all the years that I've missed out on learning the theory and so forth.
Oh man, that's so beautiful.
Yeah,
That is so beautiful. That's such a good story. But I just want to put a footnote in there, like, so any parents out there that, like, because we can go the opposite. Any parents out there that their kids are like, I want to do music, I want to do music, and you're like, stuff that you're not going to waste your life doing music. Send them to Nashville. Apparently, that's the place where you can go to school and learn how to be an accountant.
obviously, yes, yes, yes.
So, uh, you know, that's the thing.
But they all wanted to do it, so I thought they are going to turn into
Yeah.
musicians.
Yeah, if
And
everybody finds their own path, I suppose the thing
yeah,
that
they
they
find
enjoy.
out.
Do they still do music? Is that something they
Yeah, my daughter used to do a lot of live singing in gigs and all that. And finally, she released the single, which I was so happy, and I play it all the time. So, but
so they're
then
still musical.
they are musical. Yeah, if they have time, they will play the music instrument. But hopefully, the grandkids will, do that as well.
Somebody's not gonna let you down. Is that what you're saying? There's gonna be someone.
Well, I guess the only thing I have to say is that they're intrigued that now I'm the one doing the
Yeah, well
music.
that was gonna be my next question because so you've got your kids that grew up doing music theory. They've been in Nashville and regardless of whether they became accountants or not, I'm guessing that they would have had serious exposure to music in Nashville, whether they wanted to or
Yes.
not, whether they became accountants. So you're doing this AI music thing, and I've seen some of your stuff, and I like some of your stuff too. Like I like that sort of powerful, engaging sort of thing. It's different. Like I'm not overly religious, but I remember I spent a lot of time down south, and I used to like hearing gospel stuff. And I heard one of your
Oh,
songs that
thank
sounds
you.
very gospely, and
Yes.
there's sort of things that touch on, I guess, sort of Taylor Swift and all that. So you're doing some stuff like that. You've encouraged your children through music. They've released singles. How do they feel? And you would still call them musicians. They understand music and they play instruments. They put out singles. How do they feel about you doing this AI music and AI music in general?
I think the first thing I was worried about is that it's not legitimate.
Mm,
So I sent one of the songs, the first song that I made to my middle child, my daughter, to ask, is this legitimate way of making music? Look what I've done. And the only thing I remember, she said, "Oh, wow, so cool." And that gave me the encouragement. She didn't say that was bad or anything. And I said, the only problem I worry is that melodies from somewhere else. It seems
yeah,
so it fit the song so easily. And she said,
yeah.
I don't think so. I haven't heard this melody before. So from then onwards, I thought, oh, if that is the case, I could make music that is different, and
Mm.
so I was quite encouraged on that. But obviously, over time, I have too many songs, and I can't
Mm.
keep saying, "Hey, do you want to listen to this one, or this
Yeah,
one, or
yeah,
this
yeah,
one?"
yeah. No, we all of us want to do that. Well,
I know.
well, first of all, like when you said that, she said that was lovely. Like that just gave me. I literally felt like tingles through my head because not a lot of people get encouragement. I felt like it was a beautiful moment that you got to share with your daughter, and a lot of people don't get that because I know, like us as AI music creators, and like I think all musicians would have this. They put stuff out and they just don't get any encouragement. And this is why I encourage people to be engaged in the community and when being engaged in the community,
Mhm.
not just put stuff out and say, what do you listen and not give anything back. Like there's a few ways I want to go with this, but because like you're such a beautiful soul just talking to you. I actually like the
Thank
way
you.
you're intentionally telling stuff. Like I'm actually really looking forward to the rest of this. Like, do you engage with the AI music community? Like, have you put stuff out and had people like in the AI Music Society? That's a really good Facebook group, or even like my Discord, which if
Yes.
anybody wants, it's linked below. Do you plug in a bit with those people to see how they think? Because obviously, like you can't just reach out to your daughter all the time. So
Yes, obviously. So that was the first thing I did was to go into Facebook group and connected with a lot of AI music groups there that I found. I didn't just engage with them. I actually went into other groups as well, like this songwriting groups and other
Mm.
musicians that are non-AI people, and see what they do, see what they produce. So I learned the art of writing songs that would resonate with people for your listeners rather than for yourself to
Mm.
throw it all out on it's like unleashing your own frustration, and for the listener they might not want to listen to that,
Yeah.
so you have to have some hook and it has to relate to other people. So I learned to write with their point of view. So over time, um, after joining this community, I get to see what other people do and getting feedback. So I learn a lot from seeing what the feedback that they get, and I try to learn from what I see. And so yes, it's hard because I'm not a musician. So obviously I can't sing and play instruments like other people do. But there is a column there to own up that we use AI. So at the beginning, I have to confess I use AI a lot. But now I'm learning to make my own melodies.
Yeah.
So that's been a very interesting journey.
This has been sort of something that comes up a bit with people that started fully in AI and everything. They've written
Mhm.
with lyrics with ChatGPT, and they've enjoyed their music, but that's sparked them to learn guitar or learn piano or things. And it sounds like to me like you like the melody stuff of it, but like you're gravitating towards lyrics and how to write lyrics, and it's feeling good to connect to, I guess, that Songtown Nashville, and hear mentors stuff. And maybe we should, go outside the AI music community. Although there are a lot of people that are full on musicians and lyricists that are here, and the reason being because they can concentrate on one thing. Like you can concentrate on your lyrics and learn how to write a beautiful song for you, learn how to market that, and you don't have to worry about studio time or collaborating with an entire band. You can put that to however you want.
Yes, I think ultimately, if I do write something that is great and inspiring, I think long-term project, I would like one or two of them to become real music so that um, I would like real musicians and singers to actually create the whole thing. But
Mm.
the process is what I have started off with AI. I want to translate that into real music because ultimately, I think people still crave for the real soul that sings it, and the people that play the music. For me, AI does a really great job, but occasionally I feel like they're so fine tuned, they're so well tuned, there's something still missing for me.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I'm gonna say. But AI is getting so much better now than
Yeah. Yeah.
even 8 months ago. I find that the sound is getting better and better. I don't know whether it will come a point where it's indistinguishable that you can
Yeah.
use an AI or a human to sing.
Yeah. You know what? Like, uh, I know I'm the AI music guy, but I hear what you're saying, right? Like, I think for some people, they don't like people don't want to entirely lean on AI from start to finish. There's a component of it that they want to have, and I think most people do. They have a component of it, like even if it's the videos, maybe the song and the lyrics and all the melodies and stuff are completely AI the song, but some people like to play in the space of I don't want to have someone write a complete song and get a job making videos for people. Some people just like to do the visual components of that song, and that's what they do is they tell the story. They love playing with the video editors, and that output is exciting for them. But it's interesting what you say, like I never want people to stop making music from scratch and getting together with garage bands and all that and relating to each other, but that's not realistic for everybody to do. And I think that's the place where AI music saves people is it's not realistic for everybody to have that available. Like you're at a place now. I think you were saying like your kids have moved out of house, and you can now pursue those dreams that you've always sort of
Yes.
wanted to pursue, right? And some people, I guess, aren't at that stage yet, or maybe never will be. Maybe they don't want to wait to that stage, and I think AI fills that gap for them really well.
Yes, there's a place for AI. I would say that I can't afford to go out and turn all these songs that I want to make into real human songs. It's just not possible.
Mm.
And but meantime, I need that creative outlet. I've got so many songs I want to write. I want to test them out, and I do feel like AI has a good place for that. And if you know how to use it well as a tool, it becomes an extension of your voice. And I don't see why not. Like I said, AI is improving more and more, and we have to learn how to use it better and better.
Yeah. Well, I want to dig into your songwriting because one of the pillars that I like to do in this channel is I really want people to learn. I want some people to have some takeaways. I want you to have takeaways. I also want to have you a chance to promote your stuff later too. But like you mentioned, like you started off and what a lot of people do is they just pour out their feelings into music, and that's awesome because some people like they don't want to be really famous lyricists or music makers. It just they've basically cured some of the depression or some of the you know bad stuff that's happened in their life and just basically doing that, and that could just be with the help of ChatGPT and all that. What are some of the things you've actually taken away? So you started off with ChatGPT and you didn't know that you were going to write in a way that's not necessarily just for you. Like what was some of your method? Like what were you doing in the past? What have you learned to do specifically? Like what are some of the things that we could take away from that?
Yeah, so I had to find out what is the song structure. So I
Mm.
know most people know about choruses, but we don't know what's the verse, the first verse, the intro. What do you put in the intro? I had no idea. And what's the pre-chorus? So those things, ChatGPT is really good at telling you.
Mm.
So the second thing is
But what are
I'm a
those things? Go ahead and tell. Just because there are a whole bunch of people just like you that are completely new to music. What are those things? If you could explain those, just a couple of them, just so people know and how it
okay.
works with the.
So the one thing I know is the verse
Sorry to
one.
put you on the spot, by the way.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just trying to remember what my journey is. That the first part is really a hook. If you are not interesting enough, you lose your listener.
Mm.
So that's why I find AI so useful. Is because after I generated the song, I can listen to it and I think, oh, this song doesn't hook myself. You
Mm.
play your
Mm.
own music, and if it doesn't resonate with yourself afterwards, then it's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
So I learned that. And second thing, the chorus, I used to wonder, why do you need to repeat a chorus? What's the purpose of it? But I realized a very important part of the chorus is the heart and the soul of the song. And that's why you repeat it, that message. That song has a purpose. And what is the message you're trying to give to your listener? So that has actually helped me in my marketing process for my other project because I could never find what the main message is. But after doing music, I realized if you can find the chorus for your song, then in any situation like public speaking or whatever,
Mm.
you would be focusing on your chorus. What always go back to what is your main message. So the chorus is that part of the um, maybe the framework for the whole song to lean on. So some people write the chorus first, some people say so those things I'm exploring because I cannot write the chorus first. I always write with the introduction first.
Mm.
Then the chorus will come. But some people say they write the chorus first. Some people say they write the title first. So there are all the interesting aspects of how you put a song together. But I find my comfortable zone. I always start with the introduction. But when I hit the chorus, then I will be stumped that did do my other verses support the chorus? So that's how I look at it now. I kind of, after doing it, I will put the whole thing back into ChatGPT and say, can you just analyze it to see if it's got a good structure? Does it fall in with the mainstream music? Or is there anywhere that is not clear? Is the grammar correct? There are lots of things you can do with ChatGPT, and I use it as a really good tool now. And the
Yeah.
other thing is I'm stuck with ideas. I sometimes say, can you please interview me and ask me questions that will evoke feelings, my
Yeah.
emotions, or something I can remember.
You know what? Like, do you do custom GPTs at all?
I haven't at the moment, no.
So the reason I'm saying, so build a custom GPT, right? This is some really good advice I got, and this is actually part of
Mhm.
my weight loss journey too. I built in someone that I really respect out there in the media for hitting hard on people with that. So I built that into custom GPT. But another thing I've heard of people, and I don't want to take away from your message. I just want to keep going with this, but if you build a custom GPT in ChatGPT, you can say act on behalf of the. You want to say like you are Beethoven, you are Taylor Swift, and you are whoever your best mentor is for lyrics. Here's an example of all their works. I want to be able to consult with you as a panel about these questions. So you can basically make that GPT, and that way you don't have to start scratch. And
Okay,
ChatGPT is like a different personality every time. It's like
okay.
that's your panel, right? Like you can
Right, right.
put
Yeah,
the people
sounds
that you
really good.
respect. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I've done that in a few different ways, and I mean
Wow.
I've been able to lose a bunch of weight because I've programmed in a custom GPT
Wow. Does it take a
of a
lot of
consultant.
learning curve to program it like that?
No, no, not at all. Like I could even show you this afterwards. Like you basically go in ChatGPT, you put custom GPTs, make your own. You title it. You you basically just take three documents that you put together. You don't even necessarily have to do that, and say here's an example of these three people's works.
Right,
These people are now my panel. I'm going to come to them, and you can prompt them and say, don't just tell me what I want to hear. Push me if I'm wrong. And then
right,
if I ask you to consult with each other and come back to me with an answer, you can do that. So
right, right.
that's a really cool way to do it. Like try it out. So try it and tell me because
Oh,
it's
we'll
worked for me
certainly
in a few
try it.
different
Yeah.
ways. Yeah,
If it
yeah.
can help me in the future, that I don't have to retype the same
That's the
thing.
thing. That's the thing is like I also have custom GPTs when I do my YouTube videos because I
Right,
do
right.
I guess four different ones. I do a live, I do a featured artist, I do interviews, and I do what I call infotainment. And I have separate GPTs for those. And instead of every single time I have a new episode, I go in and I
Um,
say, okay, here's the explanation of what my channel is. This is what I want to do.
wow.
I go there and I drop in a thumbnail in the transcript, and it's already programmed to give me everything that I need after that.
Oh my
So
goodness. That's so organized that you have a
yeah, yeah.
personal assistant, right?
Well, that for you would be your personal, soundboard,
Right.
and
Yeah,
and
that
you can
sounds
sort of grow
great.
off
I will
that.
definitely try it.
It's cool. Well, I hope that helped that be one of my
Oh,
pillars.
yes,
Now you
definitely.
learned something, but
Yes, I learned.
I'm glued into what you're saying. Like, and you're saying like it's so interesting to me to hear, especially the songwriting component part of it, because that's for a lot of us that are doing AI music. That's the main component that we either have to learn or that we focus on because that's the lyrics, right? And other people the videos and how it
Yeah,
sounds and all
yeah.
that. But
I,
yeah, I
yeah.
start with the chorus. I start with the chorus. I mostly write
All
the
right.
chorus, and that's how I go, and everything falls into place, and then I sort of fix everything else after that. So that's interesting to me, very interesting to me.
Yeah, I have this belief that guys tend to start with a melody and women start with the lyrics. I don't know if this is true. I'm
Uh,
hoping to do a research one of these
oh,
days,
that
and
sounds like such a good question for me to follow up with
because
everybody
because
else.
I have asked many of my friends, not many. I mean, I've asked a few of them who are guys and women. And they listen to my music, and the guys always say, "Oh, I don't even know what the lyrics is, but if the melody is good, the song is good." So
Yeah,
my guess is that guys go for the melodies, the women goes for the stories and the lyrics.
I think you could
So,
be right. Very anecdotally, between me and my daughter, like my daughter is 11, she knows every word to every song that's ever been
oh
written.
wow,
Like it's just
that's
crazy. Like
fantastic.
I'll just put on a random song from the 70s and
And
she
she
knows
knows.
all the words. I
Wow.
can put on the latest pop song. She knows all the words. And I'm just sitting here going, I don't know, I like the melody. It's good. Like I just the words that I'm singing are mostly wrong, but
Right,
she
right.
knows them all. I'm like, how do
Wow.
you do that? She's like, what, don't you listen?
We do all day. But that's very good that she can do that at the age of 11. Most of us don't remember what we just read.
Yeah, no, she's always been really good music. I mean, she was like not even walking. She started walking at a really young age. She'd hear
Wow.
music and she'd be rocking back and forth to music, and that hit me when I saw her do that. Like, I don't want to be a story about my daughter, but that impacted me a lot because I thought music hits people before they're even taught about what music is. Like no one taught my
Yeah,
daughter
yeah.
at
It's
like 6 months old how to dance. She just heard music and it started moving her. And I just think
right.
there's something in music that
So is she
connects
doing
people.
music now? Is she learning any music
No, it's
instrument?
like
Instrument?
we're not really sure how to, like, she's not overly interested in that stuff, but she'll listen to my stuff like crazy. She's keen. I said, "Look, I've got to pick between these two songs on Suno last night that I'm gonna blow." She goes, "Oh!" Came in and sort of listened to them, and she was like really into it. But like she played the drums a little bit when she was younger, not really taught, but she was
Right,
picking up
right,
beats. I wanted to make any sense that
right,
and I
right,
never taught you could pick up beats. So like
right.
we've always thought we want to get her into it, and we probably will. I didn't start until I guess she just turned 12. I started when I
Right.
was 8. I guess I've kind of screwed her over in that part. My parents got me playing trumpet when I was 8, and I
And
played all
so,
the way through high
right.
school. Maybe yeah.
So you also a musician or you?
I'm an AI musician.
I
It's a real
am.
thing. No,
Right.
but
Okay. I
like
told my husband that I'm now a musician. He
yeah,
laughed. I have to say I'm an AI musician.
yeah. Well, hopefully it's all going to be the same. One day. I don't know how it's all going to sort of play out. Like the stigma around it. I don't know how
I
soon
think
that's
it's
going to go
more.
away.
Yeah, I think it probably more accurate to say we're AI music artists at the moment
Yeah,
until maybe, standards have changed in the industry. But right now, I think I call myself an AI music artist. So I don't give people the impression that I know how to make music or compose. But having said that, I have learned to make my own melody. So am I now a musician or just
that was
starting
going to be my next question because you mentioned the
beginner
melodies.
musician?
Yeah. So how do you do
Yeah.
that? How do you do that? Because do you program them to Suno or whatever? Like how do you do
No,
those melodies?
no, I actually found a simple way of doing it. I don't know how legitimate, but I have actually documented it in my TikTok channel that I wrote the lyrics for this set of music, and I've already generated AI music in the past, but I want to redo it with my own melody. I want to
Mm.
have a go at creating it. So all I did was I look at the song, I just sing it. I just sing it from my own feeling. And the AI generated this song very close to my melody. I think it's about 90%. So what I did was after that, I dissected it. I put it onto BandLab,
Hmm.
and I know my timing is out from the AI, but I cut it so that you can hear the AI and me singing on top of each other. So you follow it, and I was surprised. It's very close. It's not even far off. But maybe it's only for this sort of particular song that has a very simple structure. So the melody, I have a very limited range. So I'm so out of tune as well, out of pitch. So I can't reach a certain pitch. So when I try it, it doesn't work. So the
Yeah.
AI will fill in, and it's very close. So I think in the
I mean,
future I
people
can.
use auto tune all the time, so that's
Yeah, I could have done that, but it's another thing. I have to learn how to auto tune. And if you start off with very little singing ability, I don't know how auto tune works. So it might be another thing I have to learn to do. But that got
no.
me
I'm
really
just saying
excited.
like that's legitimate. Like just because you're a little bit out of tune and AI fills in that gap, like like auto tune hasn't made anybody an illegitimate artist for a long time.
That's
Like people have been
true.
using it for
Yeah,
ages.
that's true.
So you can't say like, oh, I'm not quite an artist because it fills in the
Yeah,
gaps
yeah,
in my
yeah.
tone.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
know.
So maybe I should try and use auto tune next time. Not feeling
or
that
or,
it's not.
or just use Suno or whatever. Like it's just a different form of auto tune. It's just
Yeah.
picking up your gaps, which has been happening for years.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so what I've done, I haven't been able to finish the entire song. Obviously, after singing the first verse and the chorus, and then you try and remember what your chorus sounds like. So next time I'll create a process where I can remember the chorus or play it again, and then so that I can sing the entire song to prove that this is I have made the whole melody. So right now it's probably halfway, and then
Mm.
sooner we'll finish it. But it's a good step forward. I wouldn't, like I said, I don't know if you can classify that's beginning of becoming a musician
Yeah,
or
I
both
think
a
we got to
machine.
get out of our own heads. I think, you know what I mean. Like I think people are so eager, and you're not the only one, and I feel it sometimes too, we all do, that we're in our own heads. Like, at what point of what I'm putting out here can I convince myself that others are going to believe that this is legitimate? And I think you could basically go on that forever. Like, you if you want to convince yourself bad enough, right, you could be basically the next Beethoven, but you started out with AI music, so you never feel legitimate, right? If you wanted really badly to convince yourself that you're not a legitimate artist. But
I
this is
know.
what I'm, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
but
Yeah, I know.
this is what, when you're telling that, so I'm really glued into what you're saying, so I'm just letting you go. It's hard for me to interrupt you, but like when you're talking about that, like I'm imagining when you finish this song, because it sounds like it's something you're putting a lot into, and you want it, to me it sounds like you want to get that song perfect, right?
Right, right,
And I'm stacking this in the feeling that you've always, like, your whole life wanted to be musical. And like what I'm thinking is, what is it going to feel like to you when you finish that song? Because this sounds like your first masterpiece that you want to put. You're singing it, you found the melody, you're piecing it together, and you're going to publish it, right? And you're going to document the process. What do you
right.
think it's going to feel like when you have this song ready and you're like, that's it, that's my voice, that's my melody, that's what I put together? What's that feeling going to be like for you?
I think it's going to be tremendous if I
Mm,
have worked very hard on the melody from start to finish. I think that will be the final of this. I won't say it's the final journey, but it will be what I want to achieve in this phase of making music.
yeah.
And honestly, I mean, there is another part of my story which I haven't told you, is that I actually joined a talent time competition when I was in high school,
Yeah.
and I was about 14, I think, 15. And I invited my couple of my neighborhood kids, friends from another school to come and watch. I thought I was such a good singer. I was so went in with such high hopes. But
Mm,
unfortunately, I messed up. I sang really badly, and I ran home that day. I had a good cry, but I could never sing again. I don't know why.
mm.
All my pitch is out. I try to follow a song, but I just can't. But this is another story that I tell people, that's why I never sing. I think it's a
It's
psychological
definitely
factor,
psychological. It's definitely
but I don't know
psychological.
how to fix it. I've tried and I cannot follow a pitch, and I always go out, and I'll be following along all right, and then I will divert from it somehow, and I have not found a solution to fix it. But maybe the AI is going to help me because it's forcing me to make melodies now, so I'm forcing myself to learn how to sing in pitch.
Yeah. I think maybe if you join a local singing group or something like that, um, the problem I think people is, again, being in our own heads. You think like when you join a group, you already have to have a certain level of talent. I think there's probably singing instructors out there. There's probably, like, over here in Australia, they've got, I think, pub, they got pub plays or something like that, or pub chorus,
Right,
where
right.
like at any level that, like, there's people. I know someone that one of the mothers of the people I played baseball with, and she ended up playing baseball at the lower grades too. She's like, I always had this dream. I wanted to perform on stage as a singer, but I can't really stage. So there's like low level fun groups that you can sort of get with, but maybe you can learn pitch that way or something. But I
Yeah,
think it
maybe.
really is getting out of your head, because it'll be like muscle memory. Once you get it, you get it.
I don't know. Maybe the vocal cords are fixed now, but
Yeah.
who knows, right? I can make it to AGT one day, maybe.
Yeah, maybe you can make it down to Nashville and get, and then with that intent, and then end up being an accountant.
Yes,
Maybe you can
yes,
make Nashville music again. With your
yes. I
newfound
don't know.
pitch.
Yeah, maybe. So one day, it's just dream on. You got to keep doing it.
Yeah, well, you're the second person actually to tell me that story today, because I did another interview earlier today, and she had the same experience. She went to do music when she was younger,
Right?
and she was really excited about it, and she was just told she was crap, and then that just killed her, right?
Oh
Like,
no.
it was just bad. So she's been involved in music her whole life,
Right,
uh,
right.
but once you get that, I guess early on you sort of
Yes,
struggle, and I
yes.
think being
You,
a woman in the area that she was
mhm.
growing up in to be music, it was very not much like discouraged. So,
Right, right.
you know, and I want to fix that here too. Like like one of the reasons I put a call out to women in AI music is because I looked at my stats, and it's very sad to see that almost no women, like less than 10% of my viewers are women, which less that means I'd imagine all the way through that women in AI music and or whatever, for whatever reason, aren't getting involved. And I want to change that.
Maybe it will change. Yeah, my daughters are going to watch this program after this.
Are they? Yeah.
So maybe they will send it to their friends and so forth, you know.
Aren't you supposed to do a shout out like that? Like shout out to your kids or whatever?
Yeah, usually I do this in secret, and then if it turns out well, then I say, "Hey, you're gonna watch this."
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. No,
so
that's
I
different.
have music that I test it out first, and then if it turns out well, then I send the link to them. But I never know what this this is like my second interview of such nature. I did something like that about 4 years ago, 3 years ago on Zoom, and it was live, so I know I couldn't go back and edit it. So it was a bit
Yeah.
nerve-wracking.
These aren't edited at all either, but at the same time, you know, you're not going to see live reactions and people responding in real time. It's definitely, I think, a lot easier in the recording. There's a lot less technical issues to try to work through in the recording
Right,
sessions
right.
too. But I don't really cut anything out. I don't think I've really cut anything out in
I
any of
can help
these.
you cut some things out if
No,
you want.
sorry, no, it's all been good so far. Let me just, um,
I just hope it's okay, whatever, that has come out here. But a video editor as well, so I do a lot of editing, high
yeah.
speed, you know.
That's perfect. I've got a friend of mine that's running a YouTube channel. He just got a video editor. Maybe he can give you a call too. Let me just ask this: these Nashville songwriters too. I hate to go sort of back in time, but it's an interesting thing because I thought, we all as a community we all have to be together, and I
Yes.
always never had a problem with not getting involved in other sort of music sort of areas because there's
Hmm.
plenty of musicians that are in AI music and they're the first. It's like what they say, like, how do you know you have a helicopter pilot in the room?
Right, right, right.
Like, how do you know that? It's like a joke. How do you know you have a helicopter pilot in the room? The answer
So,
the answer is he'll tell you. You know that's the
okay,
answer. Yeah, and it's like with AI music. Like if how do you know you have an actual musician that's being a musician in the room and you're with AI people? He'll tell you.
okay, yes,
It's
they
sort of
tell you,
like
right?
how do you know when someone writes the wrong lyrics? They'll tell you.
Yeah,
Is
I
basically what it goes to. But yeah, so the question being like, how receptive are those people in Nashville, or do they know you're involved in AI music? And should people go and branch out outside of AI music for their mentors and seek out people like that? Because I know the fear would be the stigma.
Yeah, my personal experience has been really, really good with them. They actually encourage you to post your music there, to submit your music, and they will critique it.
And
And
they know it's AI music.
yeah, because they have a little column you can check and say how you use AI. And I've
Okay.
seen other musicians do the whole thing. They record the voice and they do their own melody, and yet they still use some of the AI components to polish the music. But for me, is I have just lyrics that are my own original, and the melodies AI and everything's AI, and they will give you a fair assessment the song whether it's viable or not for commercial purpose. But obviously that is up to us now because copyright has an issue with that. They don't have an issue about the fact that I've made this song with AI. They are happy to listen to it, but they always encourage you to make your own melody because ultimately you can't pitch it to publishers if you have a copyright issue.
Hmm.
So, but they're there to help you with your songwriting process. They
Not
are not,
judge.
yeah, to judge you. So I found that a really safe place for me to put my music out because when I first started this and I started to write so many songs and I thought they all sound really good, sound really nice, but how do I know it's got the standard that other
Hmm.
people would like to listen? So I seek approval from outside the AI community because in the AI community, we're all just, a lot of us are not musicians. So how do we know my song is good or not, or it follows particular structure? So I thought the best way to learn is from the people themselves who make music every day.
Yeah.
And and so, So I encourage people to try and find mentors or musicians who are professionals who can help if they really want to do it that way. But
Yeah,
otherwise, it's just a hobby. It's like you want to make your own music. It's fine.
yeah. Well, that's good, and you've always had that dream, so I suppose you want to get it right. You don't want to half do it and end up being 90 years old, and you say like, "Oh, I just
Yes,
made a
I
few
wish I.
songs, and
Yeah,
I never really tested myself." And that's going to be a struggle for a lot of people to put themselves out there intentionally, saying, "What is wrong with my stuff? What can I improve?" That's
right,
a
right,
very
right.
difficult thing for people to do. Most people will submit their music through my site, um, just want to be featured and be told that it's good. And in most part, like I'll feature the stuff I find is good anyway. But that's me, and it's sort of subjective to what I like. But I don't
Yeah,
necessarily tell people what I like about it unless they
yeah.
directly ask. And I've only had a handful of people that have ever asked.
Right, right. So I do have that problem with some of my songs when my husband listens to it and he critique it. And I don't like
Mm,
that feeling
mm,
because
mm,
it's too close to me. So
yeah,
sending it outside, somebody who will listen and give you a fair criticism, I can take that. But coming from my family is really much harder.
yeah. That thing where your daughter said that's a great song. That's as far as that goes.
Yes, but she generally will try and encourage me, which is good because I used to encourage them. But
Yeah,
I suppose the breakdown, she won't tell me, this song is going to work or not because
yeah,
obviously also she doesn't work in that industry. She's made songs and she's gone through music theory, but she doesn't work in the music industry, so she's not going to tell me that song will sell or that song will not.
yeah,
But I like to push technology. I like to push the boundaries of technology. I've been in technology for more
mm,
than 20 years. So when something new comes out, and if I like it, I take an interest. I always want to see, can it, uh, I want to see how far it can go. So Suno is a really interesting platform because um, it has so many different versions since I started joining, and now it's pushed out 4.5 plus,
yeah.
and and seeing the big difference it is made. At first, we thought, oh, it's no different to 4.5, and before that was 4.0, and then before that was 3.5. It keeps going,
Yeah.
and now it's talking about putting more components in and tools in, like door equipment, and I just hope they don't make it so complex that
It is
make
getting complex. It's even starting to be like I'm pushing the boundaries, trying to keep up with
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
it makes it harder for me because while learning to make songs, and if they make it complex, it gets frustrating when you have to replace sections and all. Now it's not that easy to just
Mm.
fix a section. So in some ways they made it easier, but other ways they've made it more complex. The screen looks more complex. And I hope that they will draw a line between trying to give us so many features that eventually the whole system crash. I've worked in technology for so long. I've seen
Mm.
this happen
Yeah.
when designers, software designers, keep adding on components, keep adding on. Eventually, the whole system is going to crash because resources are going to be scarce. Is it scarce?
Scarce. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and and also users are not happy because you keep changing. When things
Yeah.
are working, don't fix it, is my point of
Well,
view.
but it's funny too because, like you said, you've been in tech for a long time. I've been in tech for a long time, and you would not believe the amount of developers that come across my desk that are into Suno, and then you're right. It's still, even though most of us are familiar with technology, if you're really comfortable with technology, the I guess enhancements of Suno just they come so fast that
Yes.
I don't know if they're being utilized. Like you would know like when you're developing software, you have your
Hmm.
MVP product, right? You have your most your minimum viable product. It seems like, and the reason you do that, well, there's a lot of reasons you do that, but for one reason, when you're developing software, you get the MVP out is because you don't want to throw a whole bunch of like options into a piece of software, pay for that to be developed, and then nobody uses them. And
Yes.
I think I don't know if it's because Suno's got so much money they don't worry about that. I think
Maybe not with
I
so
think
many
every
other
single
songs.
suggestion that anybody puts across their Discord, they're going, "Yep, we'll do that," and it's out, right?
Right, right. I think a lot of musicians are there too, so they want to use more
Mm,
tools. But
that could
then
be it
even
too. Yeah.
outside of Suno, there are tools that like GarageBand or I don't know those more expensive editing tools. And I use BandLab to what's the word
DAW
BandLab to do what do you call it? It just skips my mind to make the music.
produce.
No, it's master it.
Oh,
That word.
master. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a new word for me
No,
because I'm mastering it now, and I
yeah,
don't really know what I'm mastering because I'm trying to learn how to master it, but I know you have to try and master it before publishing it, so it sounds better.
yeah,
And so what BandLab has is some very basic features, so I can learn quickly. I don't want to have to go through the whole course to learn something like that because I'm not, it's just a hobby at the moment. So
yeah. I like how you say at the moment, and that makes me curious. As you're talking there, I'm wondering because you're definitely a student. Like you're a student of lyrics. Now you're mastering and all that. And you've sort of always you said you've always wanted to do that. Do you intend to at some point completely remove yourself from all the AI tools and do your own melodies, doing your own, and then your own singing, and then master, and then mix it all together and publish it completely free of AI tools? Is that which I think is good. I like that because I don't think you could if that's what you want if that's what people want to do. It'd be very difficult if you're at the age of being having three grandkids, starting from scratch and getting to a point that you can produce your own music. I think AI is good for like eliminating a lot of the learning curve. And if you want to sort of move on to that other stuff, you can. Is that a plan for your future? Is moving off AI tools altogether?
actually, no, actually, I'm going the opposite way.
Mm,
Actually, I'm thinking, okay, I like to be validated for music that I want the traditional songwriters and all to look at it and say, this is a good song or not. But on the other hand, I feel like I can do anything I want. I have the freedom. Why subject myself to an industry that is so hard to break into? I'm not
mm,
going to be able to compete with what's out there by professionals that are already making music, already writing songs. They can pitch. They know the network. I have no idea even where to find people to pitch to. So, but with this tool, I can do what I want. I can publish it on YouTube and make the song as good as I want. I can make movies if I wanted with my own songs. In fact, I actually want to make some I want to make some sci-fi movies. That's one goal I have. Maybe just one movie if I have enough
yeah.
time. And I've
Explain that.
got
So what's that goal? I'm curious because, like as I said, a lot of us are in tech that are doing sci-fi comes up a lot in
yeah,
this.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know where it came from, but I wrote one song out of the blue. Out of the blue. I have no idea. Somebody said, "Do you have a song I can put in my movie?" And that person didn't explain what the song is. So I couldn't write a song for him. Then I thought maybe it's a sci-fi movie. So I wrote it. And after that, I listened to it, and my husband liked it as well. And just to give you a little clue, that song says, "I'm not a toy." So that was it. That sparks off three more other songs.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking that song actually needs a story. I need to write a story. I'm thinking of creating a script for the movie and then put a song in it because it's an emotional story about the journey of this whole AI business because in a way, we are teaching AI to be human.
Mm.
So that's some kind of a strange movie, but I guess it's still a fantasy world because,
It
uh,
it's fantastic. It's if you think about it, right? Like everything is an exchange. Like you have to give something to get something, right? And in this case, like you're learning music, but also because of AI and because it helps and it takes a lot of time away, you like, I want to make a movie, right? So you can work through all that, and you can do that, and then you can set it to, and there's no one that says you don't need a Hollywood producer to give you permission to do that stuff before, or tell you you're good enough to do it. And as far as being good enough, the whole scope is there. It can be good enough just for you, and not for anybody else, and you could say I don't care, all the way up to, I hope it's good enough to be in one of those movies, like that whole, whatever you want to do and whatever you give yourself permission to do, and if you think it's great, that could be enough.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that those people who want to make music with AI, go for it. Don't worry about what musicians are going to tell you can't do it, because in the tech field, I would say in my job as a programmer, people don't hire me to program anymore. They have apps. You can make apps by using apps. Apps will write apps for you.
Yeah, and you can just drag stuff now too. You can
Yeah,
copy
you
things and
just drag
drag.
stuff. And I've used ChatGPT to write me an application recently, publish it on Google, by following the instruction. I didn't even code one single line, but I learned to give good prompts, and then I learned to design the system, and then later I put the app together, and you have to debug it afterwards to make sure that it fits what it's supposed to do. And then finally, you have to apply to Google and get it to approve it. There's a whole process of doing things now. You don't have to code every single line. So I'm just saying that in AI music, you may not produce the music, you may not play a single instrument, but if you have a process of making really good music, and who cares, But at the end of the day, yeah.
Got to get out of our own heads. You just got to be
Yeah.
happy with what you're doing, and not try to, in my feeling anyway, seek the approval to people you may not ever get it from. And the thing is, like, the music industry mostly is adapting to this anyway, but you're always going to find a guy that thinks you're crap, right? Like, oh no, that one guy.
I would say, I can see a big difference between someone who has years of experience in composing music and writing music. Yes, they are going to make amazing music compared to me.
Yeah.
I'm using AI, so it's limited, but still it's good music. I still feel like we can combine the best of both worlds. We don't have to hate what the other person do. Like I said, my job now is like nobody's going to hire me to write simple programs anymore. I lost that space, but you have to reinvent yourself. You have to find other things you can do. So now I can advise people how to, or I can give direction to how to make programs. I know how to integrate tools together, but that writing has gone. No one does that anymore. I don't think so. I don't know.
All your code is in a repository anyway, and people just
It is, yeah. I can't copyright those codes, but even my ideas, there's whatever I created is out in the public, and people are free to use whatever I've done.
And that's so true too. When you think about it in the way of developers, like all that code that people have developed over the years, not even with the use of AI, it's out in repositories for people to drag from. It's not even AI, and that's perfectly acceptable and fine.
So I don't know how we can, segregate music from coding and from artwork as well. Yeah, illustration, everything is copied, and it seems like I don't get the hatred from. Let's say we use Illustrator to make art, you won't get the same anger from artists than if you were from musicians. But I think it's because it's a transitional period. In the past, Photoshop came out, Adobe came out. Maybe artists were threatened and they felt more angry then, but now we all have accepted it. But maybe this is going to be the same for music in the future.
I think it has to be. Like you said, and I've said this exact same thing. Artists are okay with AI because they use AI. If it's someone is like an illustrator, they don't want anybody else using AI because it's crap. But you can do with music, that's fine because that's not my art form, right? A musician will make all their album covers with ChatGPT and Dolly and Leonardo, whatever. Like but that's fine because that's not my art. That's what I think. It's as long as it's your art, that's where it matters.
But I think also partly also because it is true. Now we are flooded with so much information out there, and there's so much junk out there as well. I think that's the
Mm,
problem. You
it
can't
is.
see out what is good, what what people have done, spend a lot of time making, than something that's just generated automatically and churn out. I think that has something to be said about
Yeah.
that. Hurts the industry, hurts the work,
It hurts everything. It hurts
hurts
everything. Like,
musicians who are trying their best to do great music, and there you are, somebody just come in and just produce stuff and they take off somehow. They do, some of them do, I don't know how, but they do.
yeah.
So those are the things that I feel sorry for.
I try to be understanding for that up until the point where they start saying that everybody that makes AI is crap. And then I go, well,
Or
not so much.
maybe.
But you're right. Like if you've been, grinding out your entire life,
Mhm.
and it could just be that you've been grinding out your entire life, but you're not meant to do it, but you really want your music to be good and your music shit. And then, some AI guy comes along and is successful, you're just gonna and it could be good AI, and it could be that that musician doesn't have an audience, and it just
True,
means,
yes, yes.
it could be that there's a million different factors, and it doesn't necessarily have to be because the guy that you're not successful and the guy that is shit and people are just terrible. It doesn't have to be that. It could be a million different variances, but yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Cool. Look,
So
look, I try to keep these around an hour because I've had them an hour and a half, and people see the timestamp and they go, "I'm not watching that." Right? So
I know, I know, I can help you edit
yeah, no,
it.
no, I don't want to edit. I like it to be raw and honest. But a couple things I want to end on. Like, is there any advice that you directly give someone that's just getting into AI? And I'd like to start asking this question towards the end of the interview regularly because you guys are all on here for a reason, and you all have your own journeys. So
Yeah, so I think one of the things I experienced in using Suno is the dopamine crash. I think people are not, I don't know if you've been through it, but I was generating music like, nobody's business. You just press the button, next one come out, next one come out, and you're always looking for that perfect song.
mm, mm,
And the more you do it, the more your dopamine keeps going up and up and up, and eventually it crashed. And that is an experience I've never quite understood what it was. And your brain just switch off. It suddenly switches off, and nothing is interesting anymore. And you get sick of everything you do. Your songs don't sound nice anymore. And you probably wake up the next morning, I don't want to do any more songs. I actually don't want to do anything. I just want to sleep,
mm.
and tiredness do take over. So anybody who does work with something like AI, it gives you that false that dopamine thing. It's almost like going to a gambling place where
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get jackpot and you want the next one, you want the next one. So the
I've
only
heard of
thing,
people like describing that exact same thing. Actually, I hadn't thought of it that way.
yeah, the only thing I would say when that happens, the only way I can save myself from getting worse and worse is to just withdraw from it. Just don't do anything for a week. Let your dopamine level comes back down to normal. So you're motivated to do this, but don't overdo it. And yeah, I think that's the only thing I thought was really bad. If a young person, like a teenager, it's like playing computer games and you get
Yeah,
addicted.
yeah, it would be.
It's the
Yeah,
same thing, and you can't detach yourself. But then it will affect your concentration for everything else. So a balance would be the case.
yeah. That's something that has not come up in these podcasts before, and it's really is actually interesting. And I probably have felt that too without even realizing that. Like I need to step away and not made music for a couple weeks. So that's an
Yeah.
interesting thing to explore. I wonder if somebody do a white paper on that. Actually, that'd be very be good to see the results of that. Now, one
Yeah.
last thing I want to ask you, like you're doing stuff out there. What would you like to promote right now? Like what do you just want to have a link to your TikTok, or do you want to have a link to a particular song? You want to talk
Oh,
about that?
yeah, I know. I released only 3 songs, but I have other songs on my YouTube channel.
Mm,
The 3 songs that I released on Spotify. one of it is very special. It's called Cyprus Skies, and that was for my nephew's wedding in Cyprus in June. So that song has something very special meaning with it. And the latest song, The Halo in the Sky, that's a good one. You were talking about the gospel-y feeling.
Yeah, that's the one. Yes, that was the one.
That one was, I don't know if you watched the other part of the second half of the video, is that halo in the sky. I actually captured that on my trip.
Okay.
And I didn't know what it was. It was the airplane shadow on the clouds. And I thought that was so awesome. I didn't know that such a thing happens. And so when I wrote that song, I got really excited thinking it should be from a pilot's point of view. And he's taking this whole plane of 500 people up into the sky. You know what a whole responsibility of his journey was. That he has got to make all this decision to fly or not to fly. And now the weather comes in. I was thinking this song is about love. It was about life and faith, hope, and love. And so this song evolved that way. And I'm really quite pleased with how it turns out. I got two versions.
I'm quite pleased in it as well. Just having you describe it, I was sitting there thinking, this is a real songwriter. Just looking up at a cloud, seeing an airplane, and going, okay, what else is it? Now I'm going to put it to a song. That's such a songwriter artist sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't even know how that song became this song, because I started writing I look at my lyrics from the beginning, and then when I edited it's so far from what it was. Yeah. But that's how it is. You edit and you edit and you keep dreaming of what you want to say in the song. But in the end, I think it turns out to be quite a nice song, and I was really excited to share.
So I'm going to chuck Halo in the Sky, but I'll put the link to your channel as well. But I've talked about that too a bit on this channel, like how cool it is when you have a process, like you spend so much time with a song and you get really intimate with that song, the song changes and becomes more than what it was at the start, and how close you feel with that song as a part of the creation process.
So yes, thank you. And also the TikTok is another place that I'm learning to become an artist. I have to walk the shoe of an artist to promote yourself. Obviously, I'm not very good, but the first step is to come out and talk, and through it, I become more confident making these little TikTok videos. So now I'm a TikToker, like my kids.
Yeah. TikTok's supposed to be the place to be. I keep meaning to get on TikTok as well, because
it's really hard at the beginning, but I'm now out. So now I'm just gonna have to concentrate and getting more fans, but it's proven to be hard. You got one today.
I'm a fan now. There you
go. Thank you.
Got another subscriber. Yeah. Cool. I'll wrap that up. I think it's a good place to stop. And I think there's so many learnings in this one. So, Meg, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate you joining us today. I'll just do a little bit at the part. If you want to subscribe to the channel, that's fantastic. Like, the more you subscribe, the more viewers you get here, and we can get even more people interested in coming out and having a talk. Also, because it's a community channel, the more viewers we get, the more people are going to hear your songs when they're featured, the more information you can get. Please take note of the charity I support, which is the John Fawcett Foundation. They go out to Indonesia and do cataract surgery totally for free based on donations. Okay. I've actually gone out to Indonesia and witnessed it myself. I want to at some point bring some people in the AI music community out to do that again with me at some point. More of that in the future. I'm selling t-shirts. If you want to support my channel, there's a link down below for PayPal, or you can just click on donate in the video. But that's the stuff. If you don't do all that stuff, I still love you anyway. But if you want to do that stuff, it's there for you. But Meg, I'm going to put the links in the description below. I want to have a month of women in September, so I'm going to get at least 4 of these interviews and for September, all women, because I really want to see more women get involved in this, or at least come forward a bit more. You definitely have your own perspectives on things, and I want that to be included. So thanks, Meg, for coming. I appreciate that, and we'll talk a bit more off camera.